Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Chris Lutanga, and I realized that about 90 of you guys haven't subscribed. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button. And if you're a returning viewer, cheers, thanks so much. Today I'm going to be talking about this light. This is the Godox SL100D. In my opinion, I think this is one of the best lights for content creators. I myself loved the Godox SL60 and I went ahead and purchased two. I made a video about it, quite long, where I went into lots of details about the modifiers and lots of other things. So I won't be talking about any of that, but if you want to see what I did in the SL60, go ahead and probably maybe click and then you'll join me in this one later, or maybe you can do it after this one. Today I'm going to be talking about the 100. They're quite similar to the SL60, but also very, very different. So I'm going to be talking about some of the things that are new to this light, and I'm not going to try and compare the two lights, but if you already have the SL60 and wondering if you want to do a step up, what should you do or what should you buy? I think those are some of the things that I'm going to talk about, the things that are very, very small, but also make a huge, huge difference. So let's talk about it. The Godox SL100, what has changed is the body. I love the body so much. I love the fact that it's not round. There is something about lines and straight shapes for me, and I like that this one is sort of a rectangular form, and it's also relatively small compared to the SL60. The sinks have also been changed on the body. On the SL60 we have the sinks on top of the body, but here we have them coming from the front end of the light and then the rear end, the fan sinks. So when you put on your SL100, sorry about the SL60, the SL100, you realize that the heat will be dissipated from the front, or will be coming out from the front, and then the cold air will be coming in from the back. But there is also another sink right down here to probably provide more space for the hot air. Also, the fans are quite loud, but they're not as loud as the SL60. They've been brought down to a minimum, and if you have really good microphones and if you have a very, very well treated room, I think that shouldn't be a problem. And I also think that the fact that they have the fans in front here, or the sink here, is that the noise that comes from the fan of the heat being pushed out will be condensed within your diffuser if you're using something like that. But also if you're shooting images, which this is perfect for, you wouldn't be worrying about the noise, but rather the heat coming from the front here. So that's all. We still have the same node, rather the same, this one, I don't know what it's called, tightening screw, whatever that is. And I've seen many people complaining about the fact that it makes this noise. To be honest, I haven't found this to be a problem with me. Not that I talk about sort of funny, but yeah, it to me hasn't been a problem yet. And when I put it on my stand, I really don't care about small details like this. Probably if I have maybe more than 7 lights, these are some of the things that I'll be worrying about. But to me, this noise is not a problem. We also have an umbrella holder right down here, but I don't have an umbrella, so this has never come into use for me. So there's a small penetration here, or a small hole where you put your umbrella and sort of diffuse your light that way. On the back of the light, we have the knobs have a bit changed. So we have extra buttons here. We have two dialing buttons, and then we have an FX button. We have a gray group, and then we have a channel, then we have Bluetooth, and then an on and off button. So let me jump into what's exciting about this light. Some of the things that I love that are exciting about this light is the fact that they've introduced effects. With this effects button, it comes with about 6 effects, which I mean, if you're not a very effects user, or if you're not a small content creator, these things don't really mean anything to you, especially if it's on a daylight light. But if it's I think it makes more sense maybe if it's a bicolor. But if you're a small content creator and all you do is do YouTube videos and TikTok videos and things like that, I think FX modules come in handy, where you have to elaborate a few scenarios and a few scenes. So this has the lightning. I think it has. I'll go ahead and fix them right here. But that's really impressive for me. So if you're into effects like I do, those are some of the things that will be interesting. So they have a separate FX knob. So this is why you'll dial in the intensity of the effects, or how fast you want those effects to go. And then they also have the dim. Now, when we come about the dimming, what the SL60 has is that you can dim your light all the way up to 10. But sometimes I want to go below 10. And with the SL60, up to 10% of light is still a lot of light that is coming through. So sometimes I have to diffuse that. But I needed something to be able to go maybe much lower than 10, something like a 2 or even a 1. And this one goes all the way to 0. But the thing is, if it goes all the way down to 0, it doesn't mean that the light has gone off. It just means that it's sort of in sleep, and you'll still hear the fans going off. So if you switch it all the way to 0, it will still consume electricity or energy. So the fans will still be on. I've not tested how long, if it's on 0, how long it will take for it to sort of shut the fans off. Maybe it doesn't do that. I think that would be something really, really good. And the other very interesting bit for me is the Bluetooth. Now, with the Bluetooth, what comes is the iPhone app. When you go into your Godox, it will still give you the bicolor options, so it doesn't really know if you have a daylight or bicolor. It will just give you a broad spectrum. So if you have a bicolor, you can still use this, or if you only have a daylight, you only be changing the intensity of the light. But I also realized that while using the Godox app, is that when you switch it off using the app, the light will go off, but the light will not switch off, if that makes sense. Like dialing it back to 0 doesn't switch off the light, it just takes out the light, but the system itself will still be running, and that's why you'll still hear the fans go off and things like that. The other thing about this light is it's got an incredible CRI of about 96, if I'm not wrong, and a TL CRI of about 97, which means that you're going to spend less time color correcting your images as opposed to the 60, which has about 93 and 95. So they've spent more time trying to get the color accuracy of this light really, really, really good. So I'm really, really happy with that. I'm not into a lot of color science and the nitty-gritties, but there is an incredible channel on YouTube, Gaffer and Gear. I'll leave the link below. He goes into detail and talks about this light and lots of other things that probably I won't be able to talk about in this video. So if you're thinking of upgrading your light to the SL100, if you're using the SL60 or something that is a bit cheaper and less than that, the SL100 is a good option for photographers, product photographers, people that shoot lots of interviews, people that create content on a small scale, and maybe also if you have a budget to buy, let's say 10 of those, and you want to light up a studio with a lot of white light, I think this would be a great option. So if you think of setting up a studio with lights that won't be able to move, I think this would be a very good option for you. So thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you have something like this, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you're able to buy it, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section, and I'll be able to answer as best as I can. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I will see you soon.